Vampire Weekend used to be a movie, or so.
I never quite made it to a movie.
It was never a full movie, more a trailer for a movie. That's all.
I saw the trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, that's all there is.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you never make the movie?
Well, I started making it just for fun because I wanted to make a vampire movie, and then I guess it's kind of my friends that I was making it with, we were just making it up as we went along, and I guess we kind of ran out of ideas or enthusiasm, so we just stopped working on it. But then the name lives on in this band.
Yeah, okay. But the movie, all I saw was like people chasing each other, I think. Or
It was an action adventure movie.
What's happening in the trailer exactly?
Well, and it's just introducing some of the main actors. The plot of the film was just that this character named Walcott, who I played, wakes up in the morning and his dad is waking him up to tell him that vampires are taking over the country, and then his dad is killed by a vampire, and then so he, this kid Walcott just takes a gun and starts. Oh, and his dad tells him that you have to go to Cape Cod and tell the mayor that vampires are taking over the country. So from then on, it's kind of a journey, an odyssey.
Coming of age story.
A coming of age story.
Water comedy.
Yeah, of him going to Cape Cod.
Sounds a bit like a Stephen King, I like.
A little bit.
You wake up and then vampires are coming.
Yeah. I mean, the main inspiration was a movie called The Lost Boys that takes place in California in the 80s with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, I thought was pretty good.
Okay. But that was just a joke? There was never any idea to make, that you wanted to make movies in general?
Well, in general, yeah, I love movies, and, who knows, maybe one day. But that movie in particular, definitely didn't look at it as like a serious art film. But I think maybe one day I could make a vampire movie that was more serious.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm not that interested in vampires,
Okay. There's, what you mentioned already, the character Walcott.
Mhm.
The song is called Walcott.
Right.
And Cape Cod was somewhere in the movie as well?
Yeah, that's where he had to
plot
go. It was part of the plot, was he had to travel to Cape Cod.
So this is partly your album is a bit of a soundtrack for that movie? Or?
Only that one song, really. That song, because that was kind of our first song, which maybe is part of why we took that name for our band. But Walcott that's the only reference to the film.
Yeah, okay. And in the song, what's it about? About just the character?
Well, it's weird because in the movie, Walcott has to go from New Jersey to Cape Cod. It's maybe more of a sequel, because in this song, Walcott has to leave Cape Cod. And in the song, it doesn't talk about vampires or anything, so I don't think people, when they listen to it, might think that it's about vampires. They might think it's more just about being on vacation and wanting to go home.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and was the band already existing when you made this?
Well, actually, the main thing was Ezra did that movie.
Were you in the movie?
I was not involved in the creative process. No, but it kind of the reason that he'd done it kind of 3 or 4 years. I think 3 years before we formed, and kind of I think the reason that it was around was because I think he just found the footage very right before we started and cut the trailer, I guess, from this footage that was a couple years old, and so that was kind of a thing that we were talking about, and like at the time that we sat down to like our first rehearsal and stuff. So I guess that's why. So it precedes.
Yeah, a few years earlier.